Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Real Talk TV here on AOC Community Media, your source for news and information in the community in and around South Louisiana and the world. Great to be on the air today. Hope you're enjoying this program today. I want to say I had an experience, and I want to start off the show by talking about some things that I usually don't talk about my own personal experience. And I will leave some names out because of pending legal situation. And I could say we could speak freely on this network. Shout out to AOC Community Media for giving us this great platform. Please consider becoming a member and participate in freedom of speech. And freedom of speech also means that you can address a situation that's very urgent. And all the shows that I'm a part of, Community Defender for so many years with Brother Darrell Muhammad, seen every other Sunday on this station. Sister Khadijah, the producer, Brother Shahid, the forward director. Mr. Kevin Show, which come on this station. KIEE Live, which comes on tomorrow, Wednesday. Digital Soul Showcase TV, a show that I produce with local musicians and talent from around the country and locally. And Brother Wilder Senegal Show with Brother Keith Falk, Community Matters. So all the shows I participate, besides being a radio host on KIEE, producing and hosting two radio shows, Open Line Radio, which I spoke about with Sister Khadijah every Wednesday, and the People's Tech Entertainment and Entertainment Show. The thing with me, I usually keep my personal issues out of the public limelight, but this is so egregious what happened to me with a vehicle. And I'm gonna leave some names out pending any legal maneuver on my fault, but we have to talk about what we call predatory lending. Now, predatory lending, in a sense, is an issue in the sense that we should all talk about. Let me bring up this graphic right. Audio is out. When you're in a bind and you have to deal with situations that force you to do some things. And I'm going to put up these pictures right here. What happened to me. Let's see if I can pull them up right quick. Again, a one-man band. But we appreciate the AOC giving us that creativity to put these things out. Let me see if I can get hopefully I get my audio also to work on this thing. And yes, go ahead. Yeah. What happened to me with this car right here? This is a 2016 Ford Fusion. And lower this graphic right here. One-man band. Okay. Let's see. Lower third. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. And I'm naming the company. They know better. They force, not only they tell you to come in, you got the vehicle, you put the money down, and then they charge you a security deposit. And then on top of that, if you have a decent insurance giving you great rates for full coverage on a used vehicle, right? Granted, it's a used vehicle. And they force you to go to another insurance agency at a higher premium. Granted that your regular insurance company that you've been dealing with for so many years gave you a lower price for full coverage. This is part of that predatory lending scheme where you have the car dealership the finance company, which is Castile Finance here in Lafayette, and the insurance agency, who don't tell you the truth about what you're getting when you say supposedly got full coverage, and I'm not going to name them right now, but I know the national insurance company is Blue Fire Insurance, and I'm gonna say it because I know I'm standing on the right side. But when you have a near-death experience, this car basically started smoking, and I was driving, and I pulled over to a service station, people, and it just burst into flame once I got out, and I was just so jumpy on that. I just panicked a whole lot. And I wasn't thinking I was close to a gas station, which I wasn't by the pump. Good thing I had my mind to go under, like everybody would go under it was raining, go under the canopy and check the engine to see why it was kind of somewhat smoking. But good thing I had sense to pull over too close to the building. But I was still a little too close for the fire. And I didn't realize this thing just exploded once I got out. Once I got it, it just exploded. And the issue with this car is just been 4 months paying high notes on this car, because when you're in an economic situation, you want to jump into another vehicle until you could get right. You go to these predatory lending dealership that prey on people in economic situations who need to have a car to travel, because I'm always traveling. And the issue with these people is that they were unresponsive once you told them, after 4 months of having a vehicle, and you have a loan up into 20 plus thousands on that vehicle. I got to wonder if this was some kind of setup selling you a vehicle that has some very bad history, because we called them a bunch of times about the vehicle and they didn't respond. So this is what happened. So my warning to the people, because I don't want that to happen to them, and that's rarely a car catch on fire. My warning to them, to people out there, young ladies who probably going to be buying or purchasing vehicles from this dealership when you get your income tax fund, my advice to you, don't go there. No service after the sale. They are rude. They make phone calls to you to remind you about your payments, but yet they don't respond when you have a situation. The vehicle, when I first got it, it went into the shop once for ignition problem, wouldn't start. Okay, had an intermittent starting problem. Then after that, started having problems with the brakes, had started having problems with the starting in the morning. Don't even think that was the right parts on it as opposed to the battery that was on it. So I'm saying, young ladies, do not buy from this dealership. I will make it an effort, and any connection I have with notable people who I've been interviewing for so many years on any one of the platforms, even if I get kicked off of this platform or the radio, I won't stop exposing this company, because after finding out this company had a lot of bad reviews, a lot of customers are upset with this company. Why are they doing business in the state of Louisiana? Why are they doing business at all? If this what happens and they don't have no response for you, you stuck with a towing charge, you're stuck with insurance that's unresponsive, you're stuck without a vehicle, especially if you need a vehicle to go back and forth. So, and you're paying high notes. I call it high notes on a car that old, So I just want to let people know about this situation. And people, young ladies, you're getting your income tax, please bypass this place. And if you see, looking at this on this television show, you call them and tell them why you're not buying a car with them. Tell them that show on AOC with that guy, Brother Jay, Mr. Vallo, he said it. Because I don't give a damn about how they feel, because they didn't give a damn that I almost lost my life in a bad vehicle that we reported countless times that it was running bad. I mean, look at the fire on this thing. You think they would have been concerned, the dealership? No, they're not concerned. They're concerned about making the money. They're concerned about the insurance payoff to pay off that loan that they stuck people into. This is the concern. So that's my rant for this week. and I don't give a damn who feelings I hurt. And let's see, I'm gonna go back into the show today, and okay, we're back here, and enough of my ranting. But please don't buy from that dealership, whatever you do. And we're gonna get into some things, and especially this and that while being black. I say this and that while being black. Well, there's so many things. Every time we look up, there's an issue with black folks being pulled over on the side of the road and something bad happening to them. I got a clip from Dr. Rashad Ritchie, got a clip from Brother Roland Martin, and we have another report. But also a great source of information is the Louisiana Illuminator. Excellent stories here in the Louisiana Illuminator, and I'm not a part of them. I just read, get a lot of my subject matters from them. One of the headlines read, Louisiana judges enjoyed a catbird seat when it comes to pay raises. Look at that. They gonna get a lot of high pay raises in the state of Louisiana. Another article in the Louisiana Illuminator, being black and pregnant in the Deep South can be a dangerous combination. The lack of prenatal care and other things that come into mind. And then we got in office, we got this white supremacist Jeff Landry, who's going to be taking office come January, and we don't know what to expect because, the Trumpites are still out there. They believe, again, I say Donald Trump is not the smartest person. Jeff Landry is not the smartest person, but they're surrounding themselves with smart racists and people with corrupt policies. And they're going to apply that to black folks first. Remember that. So no matter how good you think your legislative person that you elected, who's shaking hand and taking photographs with Jeff Landry and the Trump people, just because they know these people, that don't mean you're going to benefit from the policies and so forth. And most of these racist people emanate from South Louisiana, the Lafayette area. They are making policies. They are pushing the policies. That's why you don't have a second congressional black district. You have one super Negro district that they gave you guys. So I just want you people to know that. Also, I hope my stream don't go down because I'm looking at some things going on with the stream. Okay. We're going to talk, we're going to look at this clip from, I think the African Diaspora Network is concerning what happened to a young man I think in Alabama.
The life of another black man has been taken by police officers in this country. On September 29th of this year, Stephen Clay Perkins was at home when the Decatur, Alabama police officers and the towing company, that's the name of the company, showed up to repossess his vehicle. Well, it sounds like he protested, basically saying that, he was not behind in his car payment, therefore there should not be a repossession. Well, shortly after that, 7 bullets were lodged into Stephen's body, taking his life. Should also be said that 9 other bullets went into his neighbor's home. Okay, and so Stephen's family is saying, well, we want to see the body cam to verify what the police officers were saying, that he was being combative and aggressive. Y'all know how they like to label black people that they murder by saying, oh, they were resisting arrest, I was afraid for my life, and all that other stuff. Well, in the meantime, Stephen's family also took the liberty to go into his bank account to verify whether he was actually behind on his car payment or not. And it sounds like he was not delinquent on the car payment. So they're saying that that was a mistaken identity. Nevertheless, the police officers there in Decatur took his life. Now, of course, city officials are saying, well, there should have been body cam footage, as police officers are required to wear body cam. And so the family is waiting for that footage to come out to verify what they were saying. But this is the statement that his family released. In this memorandum, the family is demanding a thorough investigation of the encounter held at Clay's home on the morning of September 29, 2023. We are calling actions of justice to be served. We are calling for the removal of officers who entered Clay's home the morning of the event, removal of officers using excessive force, and answers of justice from the city. We do not call for administrative leave of officers involved, also known as a free vacation, because that's what they get. They get leave, right? But they get paid for that. And then oftentimes they find no wrongdoing of the officers and they get to go back to work as though nothing happened. So I'm also interested to see what happened on that body cam. Something tells me we're going to see a whole different story from the one that they reported. But, it would make sense that if he was not delinquent on his car payment, that he would protest and say, well, what are you doing here? I'm not delinquent. Why are you trying to repossess my car? So we're going to see what happens with this. But in the meantime, y'all tell me what you think of this. And for more insightful commentary, please subscribe to this channel and my channel, The Demetra K Show, here on YouTube. Peace.
Yes, interesting comment from the young lady. Check out the African Diaspora Network on YouTube. Great work by Mr. I think it's Brother Philip. Check him out. He got some great work. That's her network he's setting. You got Brother Rashad Ritchie. You got so many other, Roland Martin. You got so many brothers putting out, Brother Tim Black. He dealing with the political situation. You got so many good brothers doing some great work on these subject matters. Also, I want to say, again, an article I was going over here in the Real Talk studios is in the Louisiana Illuminator. It's called Watchdog Group Finds Police Training Firm Taught Cops Offensive and Likely Illegal Tactics. And the headlines read, a former West Baton Rouge deputy terminated for shooting at a vehicle among instructors. This article is in the Louisiana Illuminator. Look for it. It's interesting. Trenton, New Jersey. Instructors at a police training conference in Atlantic City drew 1,000 officers, including hundreds from New Jersey. They glorified violence, encouraged insubordination, and promoted unconstitutional policing tactics that undercut a decade of police reform, a state watchdog said in a blistering report released Wednesday. Speakers at Street Cop 6-Day Forum in October 2021 also disparaged women, people of color, and other marginalized groups, making more than 100 offensive comments that violated the state's law against discrimination, said State Acting Controller Kevin D. Walsh and his investigators found. Well, I'm not even going to read this whole article because we already know that's what they do. And we got black folks who sit around who are law enforcement personnel with these people who are so scared to speak out against these mostly Caucasian officers who does that. And here's the thing. They glorified violence, encouraged insubordination, promoted unconstitutional policing tactics. What that sounds like? That sounds like Donald Trump type mindset. That's what they do. Probably fly the faded flag and Trump supporter and everybody else who act crazy. So long as this is what we call at the top of the pyramid, white supremacy, that's all it is, So I just check out that article in the Louisiana Illuminator. Is very interesting. And now I want to go to this too, right? Also, while we got it, if I could bring up the graphic, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna put the graphic up on the screen. This is a graphic about what happened to this 11-year-old being arrested in Iberia Parish, which makes no damn sense again. Only in Louisiana, probably only in Iberia Parish and other southern parishes that you're going to have this issue. An 11-year-old being arrested for murder, first-degree murder. Now, when is a child a child? When is a child who can't form, her brain is probably not formed in a manner to have adult thinking processes going, being charged as an adult and arresting a child which does not make sense. So here we go, some more claim to fame from Louisiana, especially from the parishes that Jeff Landry served. And this is where we're going to get a sample of what we, get more racism within the system of white supremacy within government in South Louisiana. Black folks, just because you move to Youngsville and have these night houses, that don't mean these people care for you. White supremacy is practiced every day in South Louisiana, and knowingly or unknowingly, you go along and you participate by not saying anything. So this is what I want to get out to you. The story is I mean, people from outside the state, the only one, we the only one don't know that this is not right, So I want to bring out that point about the 11-year-old being arrested, which make absolutely no damn sense. I mean, it could have been detained, could have been the child needs some type of evaluation before you make those conclusions, before you arrest the 11-year-old. So you arrest the 11-year-old, you arrest somebody's grandmother, 92 years old. That's how crazy these people are. So pay attention to what's going on in the news. I just want to bring this part out. Okay, I got another piece I want to play with. I think this one with Brother Roland Martin, and you're gonna like this one. Let's see, we can pull it up right now.
Just talked about a previous case in terms of how they literally made up charges against Michael Washington. How are we to believe that these charges were legitimate? I think you're on mute, Chris.
It's an important topic.
There we go. There we go.
We appreciate having you, Brother Martin, in doing that. It's a challenging question that you pose because obviously Pickens County has got some issues. But the one thing I do want to state and point out from the very beginning that the family does not want revenge in this case. That's not what they're looking for. Family wants justice for Glenn Foster Jr. and transparency to put an end to the conduct in Pickens County that affects the lives of so many Black Americans, just like Glenn Foster Jr. We have examples of exactly what happened in this situation where Glenn was restrained, beaten, tased, and choked repeatedly while he was in their care. And what the family is looking for is a full stop and seeking an end to the use of all restraint chairs, tasers, and violent maneuvers to inflict pain in order to gain compliance in this situation. They were advised more than once, Roland, that Glenn needed medical attention. Officers and jailers ignored this, and they instead continued to torture Glenn Foster Jr.
When you say torture, do you know how that was done? Have y'all been able to secure any jailhouse video, any police body camera video, anything like that?
Well, it takes us further down the rabbit hole in this situation because we've actually asked for the video evidence of the last known moments of Glenn Foster Jr.'s life. And guess what they've told us? The video recording that we're seeking was allegedly recorded over.
So somebody dies and you record over the video.
You heard it. You heard it. And, the bottom line is law enforcement generally promises to give folks a fair chance. But we are failing the Foster family here by refusing to provide the essential evidence to answer questions about exactly what happened to their loved one. They're not seeking anything that's extra special that anybody else in America wouldn't want. They're just seeking the truth and some transparency in this situation.
Speaking of that, I want to go to his parents. For folks who don't know, what was your son doing at the time?
Well, Glenn was in he was in transit. He was on his way to Atlanta on a business meeting. He decided to drive. We have family in Alabama, so if he had to make any stops, he would have been able to stop there. But he decided to drive to Atlanta. Unfortunately, he was pulled over around 11:30 at night due to a speeding violation. And everything that they have said about Glenn, we are now questioning.
Glenn Sr., when you hear them all of a sudden mental issues, when you hear these things, what comes to your mind?
Well, if what they say is true, that Glenn had some type of mental episode.
Yes, we are back. We're back here at Real Talk TV. We're back here at Real Talk TV. Those clips are interesting, but it shows that every day while being black we're being affected on a somewhat of a great level. I think we got a call on the line. Caller?
Yes,
Caller?
very enlightening.
Hello?
Very enlightening. Hello?
Caller?
Yes, yeah, you can't hear me?
Well, call back, caller.
Hello?
Call back. We have clips that show what black folks are going through every day. Caller, welcome to Real Talk TV.
Yes. Am I on?
Hello, caller.
Yes, I'm on.
Okay, hold on, caller. I got you. Let me turn up the volume up on this thing. Yes, caller.
Yes. Brother J.
Hello, caller.
Can you hear me?
Let me try again. I don't know what is going on. How's that?
All right, I can hear you clear.
Caller?
Yes, I wanted to make the comment.
Okay, caller, my fault. I'm gonna get you plugged in a minute. Yes. We always have some technical issues because we have a new phone system that's not working today. Not working.
Mm-hmm.
So, go ahead.
Yes, morning. Brother J.
Well, listen, caller. Call the other line.
Yeah.
Call the other line. This one is not performing for my standard. Okay?
Okay, what's
Call
the
back.
other line?
Yeah, we that's one of these things. Let me play this clip right here while we get this straight about what's happening with so many things. What you call being black here, and whether it's not Louisiana. And let me play this clip right here before we get this call on the line.
From the bank to ensure a cashier's check would be proper payment for the intended purchase. The dealership also advised Ms. Crockett that she would not need to bring her uncle with her to make the purchase, and she dropped him off at home before heading to the dealership. Let's put up the dealership. Would be proper payment. Imagine you go to a Kia dealership. All right, you're at a Kia dealership. You get the police called on you. They are breaking their own policies doing so because you happen to have a cashier's check. Put up the picture full mass. This is a hell of a story. Illinois. A woman named Sade Crockett is fighting back after being wrongfully accused and arrested of using a fraudulent check. It was never fraudulent. Crockett is filing for racial discrimination against McGrath Kia of Highland Park, according to court documents. Crockett's attorneys and the Atlanta Black Star report, quote, Crockett and her uncle first went to the Fifth Third Bank in Chi-Town in Chicago and obtained a cashier's check. This is all very normative from Graves' account, which was legitimate and intended as a birthday gift to his niece. The duo explained to the tellers that they intended to purchase a vehicle with the cashier's check and even called the dealership from the bank to ensure a cashier's check would be proper payment for the intended purchase. The dealership also advised Ms. Crockett that she would not need to bring her uncle with her to make the purchase, and she dropped him off at home before heading to the dealership. Let's put up the dealership. I want to remind everyone that this is one of those transactions where you have made communication with the actual dealership. The dealership is involved with the communication via the bank and protocol. And they have informed Ms. Crockett, we are able to accept the cashier's check. It works like cash. We're able to accept it. You do not have to bring your uncle in order to complete the transaction. Everything is above board. They have met every protocol established. Ms. Crockett says she felt unwelcomed walking into the dealership, however, especially by the entirely white staff. After test driving a 2021 Chevy Blazer, Crockett decided she'd like to purchase the vehicle. Quote, when the dealership called Fifth Third Bank to verify the check, they failed to call the same branch, okay? They failed to call the same branch, and they were told the check was likely fraudulent without adequate investigation, without any due diligence by the bank. The dealership decides to call 911. So they do no due diligence. Bank does no due diligence. They immediately call 911 on this black woman. Okay? Everything is legit. It's a gift. It's a gift. And obviously, a gift that was well received and appreciated from a family member. Okay? There's more. The dealership then called 911 and asked for the Highland Park Police Department without bothering to call the correct branch where the check was drawn. Ms. Crockett was arrested despite her pleas to explain what happened. So let me get into the lawsuit. McGrath Kia deviated from his own policy and practice to return checks to customers and decline the sale. That is their policy. You do not call 911 on customers. With Kia, you're supposed to return the check and say, we decline the sale, all right? When the validity of a check may be in question. McGrath Kia deviated from this policy and practice based solely upon Ms. Crockett's race and instead called the police to have Crockett be arrested. Ms. Crockett was told she was not a customer of the bank and that she could not verify the check because the computers were down.
Welcome back, Sister Khadijah. You called, I don't know if you saw that clip. That was very egregious, that what happened to this sister right here.
I'm telling you. Oh, and thank y'all so much for bringing out important information like this. It is definitely needed. Uh, it's like racism with its big white head always comes up when it comes down to us. I wanted to comment on the young little girl that was arrested for murder at she's the age of 11, and from the why would they arrest a young child like that? Well, first of all, the young child is black.
Right.
Had that been a young white kid, and that's a kid, a child. Had that been a young white kid, trust me, Brother G, they would have never made the headlines like they make it now. I don't know if I know you do remember when Dr. Falterman's son killed his brother in Iberia Parish, or over a remote controller. He wasn't, and he was like a teenager. You hear me? And he wasn't arrested like they arrested that young girl. Where do you put a baby at 11? But that just goes to show you that we got to continue to talk about the 15 JDC, the 16 JDC, those in our area to let people know your voice is your weapon. We've got to expose them. Somebody might hear and look into the case that has the ability to look into the case and say, well, why did this go forward? You know, and there's no other reason. 11 young girl or 11-year-old child, an 11-year-old child.
Well, Sister Khadijah, I also have other news for you. In the Louisiana Illuminator, that magazine, news magazine from Louisiana that always pointing out, there's an article in it. I urge everyone to go check it out, showing where female juveniles who were convicted as adults, you know, they do a lot of that. They convict young people underage as adults, are being sent to Angola in the all-male dormitory. Young children who haven't become adults, whether or not we want to believe in their guilty or innocence, the whole point is when a child stops becoming a child in a child mindset. Psychoanalysts and psychologists and some people who are into that type of scientific study of the human brain, we need to ask the question, when does a child stop becoming a child? You know, so why would you put them in Angola even if they were convicted as adults? Louisiana has a strange way of applying the law when it comes to those situations. So check out the article in the Louisiana Illuminator also.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. So that's it? Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
Did you ever see the issue about predatory lending, which I somewhat stumbled into after warning everybody else about it? I don't know if you saw the horrific pictures of the car fire I was dealing with. And I'm urging all the young ladies out there, when you get and these people are busting at the seams, they can't wait till January and February to take the money from these young black ladies who work hard, who gonna go put their money down on one of these dealerships who engage in these types of practices that I mentioned, such as that automobile dealership in Lafayette called Clean Slate Motors. And I'm saying it's coming from me. Let them sue me. I don't give a damn. You know, but the whole point is I almost lost my life in that car fire, I call it, you know, because I could have went there and unknowingly inhaled all this toxic smoke that came out of this car after we complained over and over again about the performance of this vehicle after just 4 months, sister. 4 months and you're paying this certain amount. I know it's over $500, you know.
Oh, yeah, I definitely.
Should I be angry?
I definitely understand. No, you should be more than angry. You should be ready to whip somebody ass and not go to jail for it. However, you know, we can't do that. But when you have to wait for the adjuster, it's plain as all day that, okay, it caught on fire.
And I wouldn't be on radio saying anything other than what I think and what I know happens to me by paying insurance, that you were under assumption that you got full coverage. After you was forced to go to that certain insurance company because they didn't want to accept your old one that you've been with for years and have an excellent driving record and no accidents, none of that, no tickets, and you paying a low premium on full coverage. And they send you to a higher price premium and you get less coverage. So I got to think that's a conspiracy going on.
Well, yeah, you know, Tommy and Jason, you know, he recommends it to you for you to go over there where he's getting a cut off of the deal also. That's how they do that in Louisiana. That's exactly how they do that in Louisiana.
All right, sister, thank you so much. I'm going to run this other clip by Brother Rashad Ritchie. I really appreciate you listening to Real Talk TV.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
We have a major update. Alabama man changing his tire. He gets arrested, he's handcuffed, and the officer decides to tase him in the back. I want to remind you of the video. Here it is.
Stand up. Right there on the front of the car. Straight street.
I ain't doing, bro. I got gun right there. I'm not doing that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying, what you saying, oh, yeah, for? I'm not, oh, my God. Okay, down, oh, my fault. Oh, my God. Oh, my God,
You want it again?
No, man.
If you was big and bad, shut your bitch ass up.
So sad, right? Put it up full mass. We are the first outlet to bring you the name of that officer who did this to the young man. The officer is Dana Elmore. Micah Washington, the man who was seen in the viral video crying and being shocked, finally spoke out about the trauma and the incident. Washington told WBMA he was on his way to pick up his brother on December 2nd when his tire had a bad blowout. When he was approached by reformed police officer Dana Elmore and demanded to show ID, he said he was confused because it was not a traffic stop. He still gave his ID, but asked the officer why she wanted it. So understand what's happening. He has complied, okay? Following that moment were the events of the viral video where Washington is seen being detained and at some point taunted with a stun gun. There's more. So the lawyer told WBMA, quote, the only thing that was going on in his mind was George Floyd. Because at one point, Elmore, talking about the cop, had her foot on his back while he was lying on the ground. And then he was having a hard time breathing and he was yelling that. And that prompted his brother to start recording, said Washington's attorney Leroy Maxwell to ABC News. According to The Root, Officer Elmore's behavior isn't only a sketchy thing. In her arrest report, she claimed she found 7 grams of cocaine and fentanyl on Washington, resulting in a fentanyl trafficking charge. However, a judge granted his motion to dismiss the charge because he failed to test positive for fentanyl. ABC's report found Elmore is now on leave pending the investigation, and Washington is left mentally recovering from the entire incident. There's more. Washington told WBMA, quote, I try to act okay, but I am really traumatized. I don't know how to feel about police now, he told WBMA. I just want justice. I would love an apology. Washington was hit with 5 charges, including resisting arrest and possession of a firearm while being an ex-felon. That's according to the Pickens County Sheriff's Office. The police chief, Richard Black, said in a statement that he was aware of the video and the department is turning over all materials related to the matter to the Alabama State Bureau of Investigation for review. That's according to NBC News. The officer, who wasn't named at the time, has been placed on leave pending investigation. But as I said, we were able to find that name conclusively last week. Put up the picture again of the officer and her attacking an individual handcuffed. What you're looking at is a criminal act. That is a criminal act. There is absolutely no reason to utilize a taser improperly on a human being who is handcuffed, bent over a vehicle as you have ordered, and you decide to tase the person. And keep in mind, even if the individual was trying to move or get away while handcuffed, the use of the taser is still illegal. Understand those handcuffs are made of metal. There's electricity going through his body. You are told in training, you do not use a taser in that situation, period. That person could die. Now, she should have been arrested that same day. It's ironic. One of the police officers or former police officers that has come on Indisputable to debate me about policing tactics in America, he literally went on my Instagram page the other day and said that officer should have been arrested. That's a jailable offense, what she did. And he's outraged that an officer would act so egregiously against someone who is absolutely in compliance, who absolutely is handcuffed, and who absolutely is under control. And you utilize a weapon like that against them. And then the words obviously just add to the narrative of the effect that you see. Ricky, this is in your home state. What are your thoughts about this?
Yeah, Slave Patrol at it again, dehumanizing him, talking to him like she's his mother, like he's not a grown man. Do you want some more? You know, tasing him while he was in handcuffs. He could have had a heart attack, could have died, anything could have happened. And it's not like that. What's the company again? The Alabama State Investigation Bureau?
Yeah.
Not going to do anything.
Right.
Probably made out of a bunch of conservatives, even if nothing is probably going to be done about it. Yes, she should have been arrested, and I'm shocked that the police officer that was debating with you before that came on and agreed that she should be arrested. How is it that you don't think that this happens all the time? This happens all the time. This is like normal. But the way she talked to him like he was less than a man. Was very disrespectful. It was a crime. She should be arrested, and we should be up there marching and protesting. And that this again, why people should get out and vote, because the district attorney in that county and I should be doing something about it. And I hope the feds get involved. And I'm not understanding why the United States Justice Department is getting involved in a lot of these cases that's just so obvious. I don't understand.
Yeah, and that's one of the dynamics we've talked about here. It's a dilemma, right? Because we clearly see civil rights violations being perpetrated by members of law enforcement. And then when there is a prosecution or there is a civil rights charge, we wonder, well, wait a minute, you have some other ones that you missed on this side of the country while you're prosecuting on that side of the country. These things have to be dealt with in a more formidable way in order to transform the narrative. All right, we'll bring you updates as they come.
There you go. Brother Rashad Ritchie giving us the 411 on what's going on. Every day he's putting up a video about some egregious act against a person of color on the side of a road and so forth. So I don't know, people. It just continues. Here in the state of Louisiana, we have the same issue. The issue of Ronald Green hasn't been resolved because, the family is still fighting for justice to bring all those who participated and who were part of the cover-up to address the issue with Ronald Green. And again, we have done all the marching and protesting and coverage, a lot of coverage on our shows, on our platforms, here on the local radio station that we have shows on, here on AOC Community Media, the Community Defender, Real Talk TV. We covered every aspect of the Ronald Green case. I even made some clips of the two major rallies they had on the steps of the Capitol in Baton Rouge. Not too many legislative personnel participated. I guess they were scared that the Jeff Landry crowd will see who's supporting the families. Maybe they're doing it undercover. I don't know. I know in Caddo Parish also, the former head of the Louisiana State Police, there was a number of black leaders in the Louisiana State Police. We have, I think it's, let's see, I'm going to bring it up. In the Caddo Parish sheriff race, which is Shreveport, I think. We have former Colonel Henry Whitehorn, who was head of Louisiana State Police. Also, he's a Democrat. He had basically won the sheriff parish race by one vote. But yet these Republicans, they hollering foul voter manipulation and so forth, and therefore they had ordered a recount by a judge. And let me just pull the article up, and I could read it again. It's in the Louisiana Illuminate. Monday's recount in the Caddo Parish sheriff race ended with the same margin of victory in the November 18 election, a one-vote win for Democrat Henry Whitehorn against Republican John Nicholson. Nicholson called for a recount 3 days after the election, when the results put Whitehorn ahead of us by a single ballot out of 43,000 people who cast their vote. A review conducted Monday at the Caddo Parish Courthouse in Shreveport produced 3 more votes for each man, leaving the winning difference unchanged. Nicholson, a former Shreveport City Council member, can turn to state court to order a recall election if he refuses to accept the recount's result. Whitehorn, a former Shreveport police chief, replaces Sheriff Steve Prater, who announced his retirement early after nearly 50 years in law enforcement. So there's more to that. So you would think that the people in Shreveport, whether they're conservative, Democrats, or Republicans, would want Henry Whitehorn, who's been in law enforcement for years, you would want him at the helm. But guess what? Because the color of his skin and because the D behind his name, and I'm not even saying it for that reason, they don't want him in. So they'll fight tooth and nail to go against a person of color, especially when it comes to the power of sheriff. You know, you have to be a real good Tom type, and I say Tom, Stephen, a.k.a. Django, for these people here in Louisiana to love you. I'm just saying. Only people I'm seeing they loving is the people who are some real great, like, the senator from South Carolina, or, the character in Django, Stephen, who hugged his master. They'll love you if you are that person. So just pay attention to this race. It might have some more implications about the state of voting in the state of Louisiana, So I want to go back to the clip, and I know we got 3 minutes left, but again, I want to go back to the clip about the sister, and I want to play it again because I know Sister Khadijah was calling at the time, Brother Rashad Ritchie, the clip where she was, let's see, that's the clip where she was at the dealership. And it's just so sad and horrible. I want to go back to it and finish it off as we close out here on Real Talk TV. This hour moves by so fast. Again, I want to thank people at AOC Community Media. Regardless of our political and social belief system, when we do these shows, we try to push everybody to do their show the best show possible. And we appreciate AOC Community Media. Please consider becoming a member. You got a story to tell. You got a situation to bring out. You got something you want to expose. You want to be creative. You want to be an artist. You want to be a talent person. You want to just rant and rave, as long as you're not making any kind of psychotic type allegation against somebody. Try to bring some provable, truthful creativity to the table here at AOC Community Media. I want to give a big shout out to Brother Shaheed. Always got everybody's back. That's the man behind the people. And I'm behind the scenes where he's behind me. So I really appreciate him for all the great work he do. So I'm going to close with this clip, and I'm going to put it on, and we'll go off into the sunset.
Has allegedly replied that, quote, people from those neighborhoods, end quote, were probably using Crockett as a tool to purchase the vehicle with a fraudulent check. All right, keep that picture up. I want you to understand, they have created an entire false narrative about a human being who is trying to spend money with them. They have concluded that she's from a particular community, that she has a particular conspiracy going on from that community, that she is likely part of the system of criminality from that.